If you open a classical economics textbook, you'll find a perfectly logical creature. It calculates every purchase, accurately assesses the exact value of a dollar, and treats money as strict math, a system where $100 is always exactly $100. But we are not that creature. Our brains spent millions of years evolving to secure food and avoid predators, not to optimize index funds. Because of this, our financial perception is riddled with cognitive blind spots. Take our baseline understanding of finance. We suffer from a severe overconfidence bias. Studies consistently show that how much we think we know about our own money almost never matches objective reality. This disconnect causes our first major cognitive glitch, the money illusion. As this chart shows, when we look at our income, we anchor blindly to the nominal value, the actual number printed on the paycheck. We struggle to correctly account for inflation, missing how our real purchasing power is actually plunging over time, while the static number stays exactly the same. And this illusion gets weirder. We apply a psychological distance mechanism to cash. As the diagram shifts to compare identical wallets, you can see the effect. Research shows we incorrectly perceive our own money as having significantly greater purchasing power than the exact same amount sitting in someone else's pocket. Because our baseline perception of value is warped by these biases, human financial behavior operates completely decoupled from mathematical reality. When we move from abstract math to physical currency, these cognitive glitches actually multiply. The physical shape and form of money directly manipulates our impulsivity. Behavioral scientists call this the denomination effect. Here we have a visual equation balancing a single $100 bill against 5 20s. Even though they hold the exact same mathematical value, our brains treat them as entirely different assets. The physical size of the denomination dictates our reluctance to spend it. Watch as the 100 gets locked away, while the 20s slide into the spent column. We are significantly less likely to break a single large bill to make a purchase, whereas we will easily part with the equivalent value if it's broken down into smaller denominations. We even remember them differently. We recall spending smaller denominations and larger numbers of bills far less accurately than when we hand over a single large note. The smaller the bills, the faster they vanish from our working memory. Physical cash also acts as a behavioral accelerant compared to electronic money. Studies on intertemporal choice, deciding whether to take a smaller payout today or a larger one later, show that holding physical cash drastically increases our impatience and financial myopia. The physical characteristics of a currency act as a hidden filter, actively suppressing a consumer's financial prudence and steering them toward highly impulsive behavior. We can dig even deeper into the subconscious. Beyond buying groceries or paying rent, currency holds a potent symbolic power that acts as a visceral, emotional, and physical buffer. Psychologists have found that humans use money as a subconscious substitute for social acceptance. When we lack popularity or community, our brains lean on capital to fill the void. To test this, psychologist Roy Baumeister subjected participants to a social exclusion exercise to induce emotional distress. Afterward, half the group was asked to count a stack of real currency, while the other half counted blank pieces of paper. Take a look at this chart from the study. The black bars represent the excluded participants. Notice how the distress rating for the group that counted physical money is significantly lower than the group that only counted paper. And it goes further in this second graph. They expanded the experiment to measure actual physical discomfort. The subjects who handled money reported drastically lower high pain ratings compared to the paper counting control group. The mere physical handling of cash biologically reduces human sensitivity to negative stimuli. Our wallets function as a subconscious psychological defense, shielding us from the sting of rejection and physical harm. This brings us to the ultimate paradox of wealth, the focusing illusion. We drastically overrate the influence that acquiring more money will have on our overall long-term happiness. If our brains are this easily warped by nominal numbers, the physical size of bills, and deep-seated emotional needs, is there a reliable way to actually navigate these cognitive glitches? Behavioral science points to a highly counterintuitive solution, pro-social spending, giving it away. This dual bar chart illustrates the effect clearly. When measuring happiness, spending money on oneself often results in a negative dip in mood, but pro-social spending, buying something for someone else, generates a distinct positive spike in lasting happiness. There is a second way to navigate the money illusion, prioritizing the purchase of time rather than physical goods. As the title of this academic paper suggests, buying back your own hours yields far higher life satisfaction than accumulating more material objects. Recognizing these psychological blind spots allows us to move past treating money as a strict mathematical score and start using it as an intentional behavioral tool. Outsmarting Blue's inherent cognitive glitches is the only way to move past the math and maximize the human utility of joy.